Very good morning, everyone. Myself is Sanket Vavadi, and today I'm going to presentation on the topic Robert Burns is a transitional poet. Let's start. This is my personal information. This is the table of contents about Robert Burns. What is transitional poet? Why Robert Burns called transitional poet? Robert Burns' influence on Romanticism, conclusion, and reference. First, we discuss with about Robert Burns. Uh, Robert Burns was born on 25 January 1759 in Scotland, United Kingdom, and he was known as a famous poet of Scotland, and he was also lyricist, and he was also considered as a Scotland's national poet, and he became the prominent figure in the Romantic movement. His work also influenced in Romantic movement. Biography of Robert Burns, we find out he was also worked as a farmer, and his work also show the rural life and uh, also connected with farming and ploughing. So we can say that he was also known as a plowman poet, and he used a theme in his work like love and nature, social and political commentary, and Scottish identity. We can find in his work. His famous work are a red red rose to a mouse, etc. Let's discuss what is transitional poet. Transitional poet refers to a literary figure whose work demonstrates a shift from neoclassical ideals of the 18th century to the romantic value of the late 18th and early 19th century. This poet acted as a bridge reflecting the evolving tastes and attitudes of their time and helped shape the course English literature by introducing new themes, style, and sensibility. So we can say that what is transitional poet? Transitional poet is a literary figure who make a bridge between from neoclassical age to romanticism from late 18th century to early 19th century, and he used different themes from neoclassical age. He introduced new themes, style, and sensibility, and these are some famous transitional poet: Thomas Gray, William Cowper, Robert Burns, James Thompson, George Cabre, William Collins, William Blake, James Thompson, Oliver Goldsmith. Let's discuss why Robert Burns called transitional poet. These are the characteristic of why Robert Burns called transitional poet. First is the bridge between two eras, classical to romanticism. Robert Burns wrote during when literature was transforming classical to romanticism, and Robert Burns also introduced new themes, new style, new sensibility, etc. uh, his work also show the both combined themes of some classical themes and some romantic themes in his famous poem Red Red Rose. We can find out his personal experience and personal emotions with some kind of a rational identity of love. So we can say that he used both themes in his work, and say let's discuss second point, a voice for the common people. In his poetry, we find out also find out a voice of common people. Uh, uh, his most of work based on rural life and Victorian ordinary people. Uh, in his famous poem "To a Mouse," we can find out identity of common people, and he used the theme of ordinary people, humanity, equality, and show the struggle of Victorian people, and also show the uh, and also show the sympathy towards a mouse. So in this point, in this work, we find out common people voice in this work. So we can say that uh, Robert Burn used the theme of theme. These are the themes in his work: revolutionizing emotions with reason. He was also emphasis on emotions and reason. That time he was right between the two eras, neoclassical and romanticism. With he combines both themes, and he write also on emotions, personal experience with some kind of rationality. And in his most of work, we can find out these are the themes in his work. Let's discuss his notable work, Red Red Rose. Uh, Robert Burns' most famous work, uh, Red Red Rose poem, is also famous poem. Let's discuss brief summary of this poem. In a Red Red Rose, Robert Burns expressed deep personal emotions through the metaphor of love that is both eternal and unyielding. The simplicity and power of language convey a profound emotional connection, a hallmark of romanticism. Uh, the poem also includes an element of rationality and order, drawing from enlightenment ideals of clarity and balance. And this is couple line show uh, the love of nature and some rationality. Oh, my love, like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Uh, in this poem, Robert Burns express deep personal personal emotions with using metaphor, and but also using his rationality. In this couple lines show the also show the some kind of love with some rationality. Second work is To a Mouse. In this poem, Burns reflect on the fragility of the life and the unpredictable nature of it, expressing empathy for a mouse whose nest is destroyed by the plow. While the emotional appeals lies in the poet's sympathy for the mouse, there is also an intellectual questioning of humanity's position in nature, conveying a deeper philosophical reflection on human condition and control over one's destiny. In this poem, he reflects the empathy towards a mouse. He also introduced common Victorian people's profession is farming, and uh, he he also discussed when farmer are plogging their farm. So he also empathy towards where his mouse live. His its home are destroyed by plogging. So he also expressed sympathy toward mouse, and also he used the theme of humanity and Victorian people ordinary life. And this couple of lines in this poem, we sleek it crowning time rush bestie. Oh, what a panic in thy bestie. This is also showing the Victorian times some themes in this. uh, Robert Burns' influence on romanticism. These are the 3 points of Robert Burns' influence on romanticism. First is emphasis on emotions. Robert Burns wrote during the time uh, when he trans when neoclassical period ends, and starting from romanticism, he emphasizes on emotions. In his work, we find out a Red Red Rose poem. He introduced his personal emotions toward nature. So he also influenced on emotions. So we can say that he is also make influence of romanticism. Second point is nature and simplicity. Nature and simplicity also show in his work of Robert Burns. We found on nature and simplicity. Third is a revolutionary spirit, and uh, we also found revolutionary spirit in Robert Burns' ideas. He also focused on individuality, equality, humanity, and liberty. So we can say that Robert Burns also used revolutionary ideas in his work. Famous conclusion. Uh, in conclusion, Robert Burns played a crucial role as a transitional poet, bridging the gap between the neoclassical and romantic era. His works, such as A Red Red Rose and To a Mouse, reflect both emotional depth and rational clarity, embodying the shift in literally sensibilities of his time. Burns' legacy as a voice for the common people, and his exploration of themes like love, nature, and Scottish identity continue to influence literature today. Okay, so we can say that Robert Burns is a great literary figure of the transitional poet, and his work and his contribution to transitional poet is also remembered, and um, and this is my references. Thank you, everyone. Now you can ask a question.
So, Ankit, my question is, what are the main themes in Robert Burns' poetry?
Okay, Margo. Robert Burns uses some nature, rationality, humanity, equality also used in main as a main themes in his work. Okay, next question.
Sanket, my question to you is that how does Burns differ from Wordsworth?
Okay. Wordsworth also contemporary poet of this time, within a 10-11 year gap between these two poets. Wordsworth's work is deeply rooted to nature, and while Robert Burns' work deeply rooted in both some rationality and some romanticism. So mm, here we see the difference between these two poets. He was focused on both some rationality and nature, and while Wordsworth focused on towards nature and as a philosophical of love. Okay, thank you.